Well, here I am, and well, here I am, and I can hear myself, so that means I am live and things are working, sort of. um, so this is my latest character in Legacy Skyrim. His name is Rast Vulpin. He is related to Mouse, who is my D&D character in Skyrim 10 AD. He's related distantly. You know, the Vulpins are a large family. Um, but for the most part, he is my one of my experimental profiles. He's a survivalist, and so I've loaded my base profile and added a bunch of new things, some recent mods and some less recent mods, uh, some interesting stuff like Skyrim Unhinged, some new-ish things, Poisoning Extended, Sky Toxin. These are mods that I've seen recently on a couple of other YouTubers' streams. But for the most part, I wanted to just experiment with just having some fun and also play with um, merging mod plugins and things like that. So I've merged a bunch of Mihail's uh, sort of less aggressive animal mods, and I've called that his woodland creatures. I merged, I think, about 8 or 9 of his plugins, pigeons and rats and squirrels and skunks and raccoons and things like that, just to add a little flavor to the world, and some new textures that I haven't used before. Some new city mods. The Great City of, there's a series. So I'm using Falkreath and Morthal in that series. I am not using Dawnstar because I'm also using the newest version of Expanded Towns and Cities, which is supposedly more stable. And I'm also using Skyrim Unbound on this. So let's just pop into the game and play around with it. I have started the game. The character is at, I think, level 3 right now. And I've had a nice evening out with a friend and enjoyed a nice cocktail, and I thought I'd just come back and spend the rest of the next hour or so just playing around, doing some Skyrim, and seeing where things go. So Rast has entered the world. He came in as a beggar. Unbound allows you a little bit more freedom in creating a, well, I guess freedom is the right word. It sort of allows you to granularize a character a little bit more than alternate start does. So I've turned off the dragons entirely. I've left the word walls intact, so he can learn a word if he wants to. But basically, Rast is an opportunist survivalist character. He is going to make his own way, make his own materials and potions and armor and everything else. He's going to be a relatively amoral character. He doesn't really care who or what he hurts. This is an unusual kind of character for me. I don't tend to play the evil side, the particularly the chaotic evil, but in this case, I thought it'd be fun to give it a shot. Forgive me for one moment while I set some audio parameters here. I'm not hearing a lot. I think that may be just because I haven't done anything. So we are here in Swindler's Den. Rast came into the world just to the south of Fort Sunguard at a hunter's camp, and he immediately stole as much as he could from the hunters and ran to the north, heading towards Rorikstead, and then across the tundra. He found a pilgrim who I believe is populated by inconsequential NPCs or one of the other mods I have loaded, who he pickpocketed and then killed. He killed 2 hunters and stole all their stuff. He's been hunting a lot and using Hunterborn, and has made his own armor, and this is what he looks like currently. So he's skinny, he's Imperial, he's made his own fur armor. He is carrying a hunter's bow that he stole, and all the arrows are stone arrows that he made himself. And he doesn't intend to use anything that he takes. He only trusts things that he makes himself. He only trusts things that he can cook and gather and eat and make. Everything else will go to sell. And his intent, of course, is to make as much money and to be as opportunistic as he possibly can. Curari is a potion added by Sky Toxins, which is not craftable, but it is gatherable. In other words, you can find it. It is populated in the leveled lists and will appear sometimes, or you can buy it at merchants. Right now, Rast is tired, and he has. It took him a while to actually fight his way through this far into this cave. This is a pretty tough cave for a level 3 character. So right now, what he needs to do is sleep and eat and drink, and then he's going to venture a little farther into the cave and see what he can find. Plenty of loot here, which is good. So just down this corridor here, there are some bedrolls, and he's already killed a bunch of bandits. So we're just going to check out this cooking pot, and we're going to make a few things. So let's see. Boar potato stew. Boar is something that was added by Mihail. I do want to create this item, and why am I... Oh, I see. Okay. Pardon me. Boar and potato stew. An excellent repast, if there ever was one. Lantern oil. We're going to be needing lantern oil. No doubt about that. Poison flare. Illuminates the target for 10 seconds. That's something new. I'm not sure which mod I have loaded, but that's going to be fun. Roast boar. Another good possible. Wild greens. Now, that is definitely from a mod called Forage foraging something or other. It looked really cool. It's a relatively old mod, but it looked like it had some really interesting possibilities. Health is increased by 10 points for 600 seconds. That's a really nice and not terribly OP recipe. Boiled mud crab is easy enough. Lavender tea isn't really worth much unless you're using Frostfall, and I've basically given up on Frostfall. But mountain flower tea can still quench thirst, so that's fine. So and strange brew, that's a hunter-born item, and I have actually never truly plumbed the depths of what strange brew can do. There we go. Charred skeever meat. So I think sleep is on the agenda. And then we will eat and drink and move along through this this dungeon here. From here we're going to head to Rorikstead and sell some of our wares and do some crafting. That's first and foremost. One thing that Rast needs to be able to make as soon as possible is a mortar and pestle. He will not use anybody's alchemy table. He doesn't trust anybody. As I said, he's a survivalist, and he doesn't trust anything that he can't make or do himself. So let's drink a little bit of wine, stave off the thirst, and maybe some mountain flower tea. And then we'll just eat some of this boar potato stew and a little bit of boar meat. And maybe a little bit more, but there we go. We're well sated now. And that's about it for that. And good thing I'm feeling well hydrated as well. I like that. So let's head on down farther into the dungeon here. I know there's stuff up on that ledge. We have to go through the next tunnel to get to it. So just make sure there's nothing left to loot along here. Well, take some weather strips. Ah, a hide worth having for sure. And we don't need anything there. So let's see. This is, for anybody who's familiar with Skyrim, this is the dungeon which one goes to if one takes on the Sadia quest. At the end of it, there is an area of water, and there are some Alik'r warriors that you need to negotiate with, or not, as you see fit. But of course, we're way too early in this whole game to be at that level. Or nice. Now, as I said, I have foregone the use of Frostfall. It is a wonderful mod in many ways if it can be moderated and adjusted for good balanced gameplay, but it has a tendency to sadly cause random crashes. It's no fault of the mod itself, truly. And there's my phone. So let me just pause the game here for a moment and pause the recording. Oh, I missed the call. Anyway, we'll pause the stream here and come back.